Kelly, welcome to the life of KG. How are you today?
I'm really good, thank you, Katie. How are you?
Yeah, good. Nice to see you after it's been a while.
I know it's been ages, but it's always nice to catch up with you.
Definitely. So I'm going to start this episode with some quick fire questions to get us warmed up.
Okay.
So, a beauty treatment or a hair treatment?
Beauty treatment.
Definitely a beauty girl.
Yeah, through and through.
Easter or Christmas?
Christmas, definitely.
A podcast or a book?
Podcast.
Was you always that, or do you think they've just taken over recently?
I think they've taken over recently. I feel like when you're reading a book or reading anything, you can interpret it in a very different way to how it's meant. Whereas on a podcast, you're absorbing, it's not just what they're saying, it's how they're saying it, their tone, like their language. Like, I'm going too deep here, but I just feel like you can get so much more from it. So I've really enjoyed podcasts. I can understand why they've taken off so much.
Yeah, they've definitely taken over me as well. I mean, I'm sitting here surrounded by books, but to pick a book up nowadays and sit there and read it is very, very rare.
Yeah.
Podcast, you could just go around and listen to it whenever, can't you?
Exactly. You can do it on the go, when you're going for a walk, when you're driving. You can't do that with a book.
No, definitely not. Rain or snow?
Oh, snow.
And then lastly, Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram, definitely.
Definitely. What about TikTok? Have you been hitting TikTok lately or not?
I did create a TikTok account in lockdown, actually. And I don't know, I just feel like sometimes TikTok can be a bit negative. I find if you read through comments on things, people are just, they really go for it. Whereas I feel like Instagram and Facebook are a bit more relaxed. So they're definitely my preferred platforms at the minute.
Yeah, fully agree with that. So those that are listening, can you just introduce yourself and tell everyone what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So hi everyone, I am Kelly. I own Kelly Rose Skincare and Aesthetics. I am a former skin specialist and also a beauty mentor. So I help businesses maximise their income, and it's just a pleasure to be able to pass on all the knowledge that I have that I've gained over the past few years onto other business owners. So it's definitely a huge passion of mine as well as my business. So it's a win-win.
And you can absolutely see that passion just coming through from you. So that's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
So your background, you've said, is beauty. It's mainly skincare.
Yeah.
Where did that passion come from? Is it something you've always had since a little girl? Is it something you grew into? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so it actually started, my passion for skincare in particular was off the back of my own experiences. So I had adult acne when I hit my 20s. I'd never suffered with acne before, barely had a breakout when I was a teenager, thought I'd made it through, and I was like, right, I've crossed the threshold, I'm not going to get any acne ever because I'm in my 20s now. And I hit about 21 and I just broke out in acne. It was everywhere, all across my cheeks, my chin, neck, back, just absolutely erupted. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, how am I going to get rid of this? So I think naturally, first thing that we do is we go to the doctors. That's like our natural kind of path that we go down. And they gave me antibiotics for it and different lotions, which just didn't work for my skin. If anything, they made it worse. My skin became quite raw, quite red, really irritated. And I tried loads of high street products before I knew better. All the ones that say they're made for acne and breakout prone skin, which of course didn't work for me. And then I went to a laser clinic and I had some laser treatments that had kind of minimal results, but the laser clinic that I went to actually kind of approached me in a really, I don't know, I guess a really kind of blunt manner. Like, I didn't feel very welcomed. I didn't feel like they were the people that are going to really help me with my acne. They said my acne was really weirdly placed because of where it was. And that just made me feel even more self-conscious than I was already. So I left feeling like I didn't want anyone to experience that ever again. And once I cleared my acne, I actually went to a skin specialist and aesthetic specialist about 9 years ago, and she just worked wonders on my skin. Like, I'm so grateful for her because she really kind of paved the way for me to understand my skin more, and that just got me naturally interested on why the treatments that she gave me works over others and the different products that I was using. I got introduced to cosmeceutical ranges and found out how amazing they were for the skin. And yeah, the rest is kind of history. I set up my skin clinic from there, started as a home beauty room, and then yeah, eventually had my own salon, my own skin clinic. And yeah, the journey just kind of went from there really, and I've never looked back since.
Wow, I can really resonate with that journey from like even just a teenager. I remember my skin was absolutely awful and I used to be so down about it, and the doctors were the same. They'd give me like really strong antibiotics, and they even put me on the pill when I was literally like a child.
Yeah, absolutely.
So young.
It's I've had so many clients who have had the same experience, and I've really kind of tried to empower people and educate people that that's not the route that you need to go down. There's so much more to our skin. Our skin is basically a reflection of what's going on kind of within us a lot of the time. So with my clients, it's not just skin treatments that we focus on and skin products, it's also gut health and any intolerances that they might have and perhaps not aware of, because often that's reflected in our skin. So it's not an uncommon story, unfortunately. Doctors are amazing at what they do, but they're not skin specialists. So they kind of have a one size fits all approach to acne, and it doesn't really work for the majority of people.
So was she like training in beauty, or was she in a completely different industry?
Yeah, so I was in a completely different industry in the beginning. So I set up my business alongside my full-time job, working for a science academy. So my degree's in science, which a lot of people don't know. So I think that's where the natural kind of curiosity came from of how the skin actually works. And then I decided to train in beauty alongside that. So I did my MVQ. Skin was definitely the route that I wanted to go down. I did lashes and brows and different treatments in the beginning, but skin was my thing. So I ended up just specialising in skin treatments.
So from obviously home to then starting a skin clinic, was that transition quite quick?
It was pretty quick. I was still working my full-time job for about a year once I started my business. I really wanted to just make sure that I had the clients coming through the door and I could meet, the salary that I was making from my full-time job and more. I think as business owners, we do want that like stability. So it is taking a big jump. And I actually quit my full-time job in February 2020, took on the salon in March 2020, just 2 weeks before we went into lockdown. So my kind of risk taking didn't really work out in the way I thought it would. But it was about 6 months before we could open fully because of everything that happened in the pandemic. 6 months, sorry. But yeah, I mean, it worked out completely fine. We had a whole kind of retail side that we generated from that. And yeah, once we kind of reopened, we had all our clients that came to me at home, and we had so many more clients because they'd seen us on Instagram and Facebook, and I was sharing loads of skin tips and skin advice over lockdown. So it naturally grew that way. But within a year, I'd completely doubled what I was making in my full-time job, and yeah, started to build a team of people. So yeah, I would say it did go really, really quickly.
Wow. Do you think that lockdown then made you kind of, I don't really like the word pivot, but it's the only way to really pivot in business, maybe focus on that retail and push that to your clients that were sitting at home?
Yeah, absolutely. It really did make me pivot my business, and I think it made me think from the kind of view of, if this happens, like, where's my business going to go? Like, now I needed to make sure that I made an income to cover all my bills and my mortgage and everything. And I really came from a sense of also wanting to help my clients like at home, because some of them were midway through their treatments, and I didn't want their skin to kind of go backwards after they worked so hard to get it to the place that it was. So I was like, what can I do to help my clients? And I find in anything that I do with business, I always come from a place of really wanting to serve my clients and give them the best results possible, whether that's in the skincare side or the mentoring side. And I was like, I need to talk to them about why products make such a huge difference, because skin treatments do an amazing job, but if you're not using the products alongside it, you're not going to get as best results as you can. So I created some DIY facial kits with the kind of facial products that we used. And I was just going on stories daily, just talking about the products, benefits, talking about gut health, like skin tips, what people could do at home. And naturally from that, our retail sales just absolutely skyrocketed, because we were kind of showing the value of those products. It wasn't just, here's a product that will help your skin, it's here's a product that can really change your skin, and it has all of these benefits and different ingredients, and here's why it will work for you over products that you may have previously tried. And we had such phenomenal results for clients, even just through the retail side, which I'm always grateful for. I love seeing all the photos that I get updated with from clients who've tried the products and have just got such incredible results.
Did your passion then from the clinic and doing treatment to then obviously finding this new passion in retail, having your own retail range, which is absolutely incredible in such a short period of time, did that passion take over having the clinic?
I think it did to some extent. I mean, I was still really wanted to help people in person, and I did love the retail side because it allowed me to help clients not just in our local area but across the UK. With treatments, we could only do it in Kent where we're based, but with products we could do it across the UK. We've had clients in Scotland, Cornwall, Ireland, like literally everywhere. So I guess from a point of being able to positively impact as many people as possible, then definitely the retail side I had a huge passion for. But being able to see a client's journey and the results that they were having in person, I think is so much more powerful. And any skin specialists listening to this, I think, like, you'll know in particular how much joy it fills you with when you've not just changed a client's skin, but their confidence, their self-esteem. I've had so many messages from clients where they've, have so much more confidence. They've gone for different opportunities. So they've gone for a promotion or a new job, or they've changed their career completely because they've got that confidence back. And I think that's always going to be a passion of mine. But I did work really long days, so 12-hour days in the skin clinic. And I think I had a really kind of pivotal point in my life when my dad passed away last year. And it really made me think, okay, I still want to help as many people as possible, but I don't want to be working 12-hour days anymore. Like, I need to experience life. And I think when we create businesses, it's either to earn more money or to have more time, or both. And often it doesn't work out that way. So I've really reevaluated, I think, where, like, I don't just see my business, but I see myself in the future. So they're both still a huge passion of mine, but retail definitely has given me that freedom back.
So would you choose freedom over finances?
I think if you had asked me that a couple of years ago, it would have been finances, but now it's definitely freedom, because you could have all the money in the world, but if you haven't got the freedom to enjoy it, it's basically pointless.
Yeah, it's definitely 100% mine is freedom.
Yeah.
I would definitely take a pay cut and have freedom than have all the money and just be like grinding. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure both of us are grinding every day.
Yeah.
But there's a different grind, isn't there? Like, it's
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I was reading a book a couple of weeks ago called Chillpreneur, and that's all about entrepreneurs who want to have more of a chilled lifestyle. And that was really eye-opening, because it had case studies in it from entrepreneurs who have kind of been there, done that, and have gone from the hustle day in, day out to still, working hard, but having that freedom back and still being able to make money in their business. So that's a good book to read.
I read that 2 years ago on holiday, actually, and it was really eye-opening for me at the time. So I highly recommend that to anyone that's listening. But I think it's this mentality, isn't it? Especially an entrepreneur mentality. Like, you're naturally an entrepreneur, I am. Most of the people listening to this are going to be. And we think, okay, that means I have to work, and work all morning, work all afternoon and evening, wake up at 5 o'clock, like, start your day then. Like, that's the mentality of being an entrepreneur, and it really doesn't have to be like that. And actually, if we are slaving at our businesses, we might as well just go and work for someone else. So it really is testing that mindset.
Yeah, it got to a point where, like, I was really good when I worked my full-time job, in that when I left it at 5, I would literally just switch my brain off. I wouldn't think about it until I went in, the next day. And I was so productive in those hours. And I think because you know that you're working for someone else, you kind of want to do everything that you need to do in that time. But as an entrepreneur, there's always stuff that you could be doing. So you do end up working morning, afternoon, evening. And I think we always, even when we try and switch off, we always get new ideas. Like, I don't know, sure you get this as well, Katie, but when like yeah, or in the shower, I'm like, that is a brilliant idea. Like, I need to write that one down. But yeah, it is finding that balance between switching off and having that freedom. And then also, you know, we're in business for a reason. It's because we love it. If we didn't, we would be working for someone else.
Definitely, because obviously your life got on that subject has gone from employed job, clinic, retail, like it's quite a lot has changed in a small amount of time. So what does your day-to-day look like now if you're not doing the 12-hour days in salon?
Yeah, so my day is much more relaxed. So I'm now a full-time mentor, and which I absolutely love. So I have client calls in the morning, afternoon, and anytime that I haven't got client calls, I'm working on the next thing. So I'm working on like my social media content and all the email content. Everything I do is to deliver value and tips and knowledge to not just my clients, but my audience. So again, it's just coming from that place of service to be able to help as many people as possible. I do try and switch off by 5 o'clock. So my phone goes away. I've got a business phone and I've got a personal phone. So business phone gets locked in a drawer. I don't pick it up until the next day. And yeah, I've tried to really just get a routine back in my evenings, just to not be working. I do read more. I do listen to more podcasts. I go for walks. Like, it's probably sounds so basic and so simple, but sometimes it's the most simple things that you miss when you're used to hustling and that grind for, you know, 12 hours a day for the best part of 4 years. I just prefer like a more chilled evening now. And yeah, just feel like I'm still busy, but it's just more like a more relaxed busy. Like, I don't feel like I'm running from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other. I feel like I just get to take things at my own pace. And I feel like that's where it's really helped me regain that creativity that I have, because I have more time to just think and to think creatively rather than just going from one treatment to the next, to responding to, you know, Instagram messages, emails. It's a lot more smoother.
Yeah, I was going to say mentally as well, that must be like so much nicer.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to feel like my brain, I mean, I think all like entrepreneurs' brains go like 100 miles an hour, but I used to feel like mine was just kind of overwhelming with how many thoughts would come through, and oh, I've got to do this, or I've got to respond to that, or I have to remember to do that, or I need to tell my team that. Whereas now I feel like I'm just a lot more chilled out. Like, I have time to actually write things down or write that email to, you know, get things done rather than just think I've got to remember all these things. But yeah, it's much more chilled, and I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah, I love that. And I'd say like a massive well done as well, because making transitions or closing down a company or doing something completely different,
Yeah,
really struggle with. A lot of people see it as failure when it's really not. And they don't like trying something new because they think, well, I'm kind of secure here, even though I like running the rat race.
yeah.
I don't really want to change that. So to do that, like, hats off to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a big decision, and I think with anything that we do in life, there's always that fear, like that fear of failure, or what are people going to say, what are they going to think, what if I disappoint people? And I definitely had those thoughts, but at the end of the day, I think, you know, you've only got one life, and you have to do whatever you want to in that time. And we still run a really successful business, but it's from the retail side, and it's from you know, the mentoring side. And I feel like that with the skincare side, that's where I was meant to be at that time. And I feel like with how much I've learned and how much we've grown over the past 4 years, I've got so much knowledge now, which I can just package up and pass on to other people to impact their businesses and to help them grow. And if I had that 4 years ago, I mean, we grew in a really short amount of time, but if I knew everything that I know now, we would have got there even quicker. So it's a real privilege to be able to pass on that knowledge and see other people's businesses grow. I feel like there's always this kind of taboo in the industry where, you know, we're all really competitive, but when we collaborate together and when we support each other, that's when the kind of magical things happen in business. It just allows for so much more opportunity.
Yeah, I completely agree. And obviously now you're a mentor, you mentor beauty and salon owners, and
Yeah.
that's, you specialize in retailing more within their salons, don't you? I mean, all
Yeah.
of the coaches have different niches. Obviously mine's teens, freedom, etc. Yours is more retail and things like
Yeah.
that. Can you give our listeners some top tips, preferably free? If you want to chuck in more, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
To boost their income straight away while they're listening to this podcast.
Yeah, 100%. So I think three things that have been the most had the most positive impact in my business to maximize my income, and things that your listeners can also replicate. First one is just get an online booking system if you don't already. I'm always surprised by how many people don't have an online booking system, and get one that can just automate everything for you, from your booking reminders to booking appointments to sending your aftercare emails, literally everything that takes up time to book those clients in and to serve those clients. Just have a booking system where you can automate it. This is one of the first things that I implemented in my business. And on average, people spend about 8 hours of admin a week, just booking appointments in, sending reminders and all of that stuff. And if you can have a booking system which costs you less than £1 a day to be able to do all of that for you, that's 8 hours a week that you could be earning more income. And I did some figures on this, because I say this to my one-to-one clients all the time, because I'm always surprised at how many people don't have an online booking system. But if your average treatment price is about £35, 8 hours a week, that's an extra £280 you could be earning a week. If you multiply that over a month, it's over £1,000 a month. So something that you're paying about £30 a month for could be earning you over £1,000. So that is something that has been really pivotal in my business, but also for my clients. It's one of the first things I get them to implement, and it takes away all of that stress, that hassle. It frees up your brain space, so you're not having to think about all the things that you've got to do. So online booking system is definitely number one. The second one that was really good for our business was offering a package of different treatments, and do it from a way where you're combining services which are not going to take you much longer to do than one service. So a good one for this is kind of like LVL and brows, for example. Or we did one that was really popular was a microdermabrasion package. And our normal microdermabrasion cost was about £65 for an hour's treatment by the time you've done the consultation and you've cleansed the skin, etc. We then did a package which added in light therapy, a collagen mask, like a mini leg massage, icy globes. And the time it took to do those kind of add-ons was about 20 minutes, which is nothing. If you think every single client that you have, you're doing a new consultation for, you're doing another skin cleanse, which can take ages if they've got makeup on. Whereas if you've still got one client in front of you and you're just maximizing their treatment, you have potential to earn so much more. So for that package, we charged £95. So from 65 to 95 for an extra 20 minutes work. And the client feels like they're getting so much more. And from that, we were earning about 50% more income on every single treatment package that we did. So a package like that could easily earn us about 2 to 3K a month, which is massive. And it sounds so simple, but it's one of the things that people just don't really implement. They often combine services where they're given a discount for it, but it's taken them kind of double the amount of time to do it. So if you can combine treatments where it's not taking a lot more of your time, but the client feels like they're getting so much more, and there's a big difference between an hour and 20 minutes when you're laying down having a nice facial, then definitely implement packages in your business. And then the third one is retail more products. It is the easiest way to earn more income without working more hours. And this is something that I really teach my one-to-one clients as well. And also because clients are using the professional products, they naturally get better results. They get their treatments are maintained better. It doesn't matter if it's if you work in hair, if you work in lashes, if you work in nails or skin. If you're retailing a product that's going to maintain the treatment that they've had, then naturally you're going to get better results, better retention. And because of that, you're going to find that more clients come back to you. So retail more products in your business is really pivotal. We earned, to give you an estimation, about 70k extra a year just from retail products. And I always say to people, would you turn down an extra 70k a year? They go, no, of course not. So I'm like, you need to retail more, because that's what's possible for you in your business. So yeah, that's my 3 tips. I hope that you implement at least one of them, and I hope that was valuable for you.
Definitely. And going back on the booking systems as well, they're so competitive at the moment that there's so many changes all the time. And even like we're with Forest, with my salon, and recently implemented the whole card capture. So like if someone doesn't show up or they change an appointment or anything like that, you could just take card details and take the payment. Like there's so much more that you can do with booking systems now. So if you haven't had like a recent update with your current person that you're with, see if there are any new things that they've implemented and maybe you just don't know about it, because we're literally most days now making money without even having to do anything.
Exactly. It's booking system is something that really changed my business. At the start, we were booking in appointments kind of manually, and I decided very early on to change that. And I always come from a place of setting myself up no matter how big the business grew. So the more you can do to implement those things that really big businesses or salons have, the more you have the opportunity to earn more income. We used Timely, and that was a really, really good system for just automating everything. And they had a card capture option as well. And I don't know about you, Katie, but I feel like there's been more no-shows, more like last-minute cancellations since COVID. So having that card capture where if a client doesn't show up and you've got your deposit terms there, you've got your cancellation policy there, then you've got to protect your income at the end of the day. So yeah, they're both really good systems to have, and probably 2 of the most popular ones for salons that are growing.
Yeah, definitely. There's so many good ones out there, but why wouldn't we want to make money if we're not doing anything? And making our life easier, and automation is literally heaven, like getting everything done. But there is even my one-to-ones, there's so many people that aren't doing online bookings for the fear of double booking, but everything's so, it's all programmed, like it just doesn't ever happen. And if something does happen, there's no reason you can't just change that client. So definitely make bookings while you're sleeping, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. We've had clients that have booked in at 2 a.m, 4 a.m, 6 a.m, and that would be a message just waiting for you in your inbox otherwise. So just get them to book in straight away.
And then the point of obviously retail, we worked together over lockdown on my one-to-one, and I know when you went back after lockdown, you done the like shopping evenings.
Yeah, that's right.
How successful were they?
Yeah, the shopping evenings were absolutely incredible. So we did a couple of events. This was just before Christmas. So the first one was in October. At the end of October, we got all of the kind of early buyers. So one of the things that I would always say is, especially around Christmas, if you're going to do like a retail event, is don't wait until a few weeks before Christmas or even in November. People start shopping earlier and earlier, September, October, and people buy for themselves as well when they've got more money to do so, if they haven't started buying all the Christmas presents yet. So we did an event in October. It was a 2-hour event on a Monday evening, really Christmassy themed. We had mince pies and mulled wine, and we had all these different stalls of all the skincare brands that we stock. And yeah, from those 2 hours, we went and just over, I think it was 3.5k. And then for one more event that we did, which was at the end of November, we did, I think it was just over £1,000. So not, I would, if I would do it again, then it would definitely, I would stick with the one in October and maybe do one kind of mid-November, because I think it was too late to do it at the end of November, but the October one was so successful. And we did loads of different retail offers in that, and we had like a raffle, and we had advent calendars with skincare products in, and trying to really think out of the box on stuff that we could retail, not just normal products, but gift sets. And we had Christmas vouchers as well on the pay-in desk, so people were just picking up vouchers to give to their friends and family constantly, which really helped to boost that income. So if you are planning on doing like any sort of open day or retail evening, I would definitely do it and build up hype to it. The first one we did was just for like our very loyal clients, so like our VIPs, and that made them feel so special, which I think is why that was definitely more successful than the one that we did in November. And then the November one was just for everyone. So the more you can do to treat your regular clients and your loyal clients like VIPs, they absolutely love it and they feel, you know, really, really special. So yeah, definitely do more events in your business. They're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. I remember receiving the text and I was like, I was like, this
yeah. It was so good. I was like, I went into that event being like, if we get like £700-800, I'm going to be happy. And I think we hit that in the first like 20 minutes or so. So yeah, it was incredible.
That's so good. And then obviously with your point of like making an extra 70,000 a year, who wouldn't want to do that? Of course, no one's going to turn that down. But then I think a lot of salons might be watching or listening and being like, Kelly, we take less than £100 a week. Like, where is that 70k coming from? Why do you think we've got this mentality of not being able to sell retail in our salons? Because it is frustrating. And I feel it with my salon, if I'm not in the salon, not all the time that they retail. So how can we kind of boost that and prevent low sales?
Yeah, so I think mindset is definitely a huge one. So a lot of people have a real fear around selling, and they fear coming across as salesy or pushy. I think we've all had a situation where we've gone into a store and feel like we're being stalked, you know, by someone working in the store and being kind of pushed into buying products. And a lot of people also find that they kind of doubt themselves and their knowledge of different products and what's going to work for that client. And I've definitely had that in the past too, where I recommend a product. I'm like, oh, it's, you know, it should be a really good product for that client, but is it going to work for their particular skin? And I feel like as hard as it is, you kind of have to push those thoughts to the back of your mind and trust that you are the expert. So you've been trained in those treatments, in those products, you have the experience, so you know what you're doing. And I always come from a place of serving my clients. So if I genuinely think a product's going to work really, really well for them, then I'm going to retail it. If they ask me about a product which I don't think is going to work for their skin, I'm going to say I don't think it's the best one to go for, and either offer an alternative, or if I feel like they're overloading their skincare routine, I'll say to them that you don't need to add anything else into your range at the moment. And I think I always come from a place of genuinely wanting the best results for clients. And I think because I come from that place rather than just selling for the sake of it, that really shines through. And because I'm selling from a place of I want this client to get amazing results, they do get amazing results. And then because they get amazing results, they talk to their friends and their family about these products and the treatments that they've had. And they kind of become like advocates for what you're retailing anyway, because they've got the results from it. I feel like in terms of mindset, you really have to come from that place. And if you don't come from that place, you're never going to be able to earn as much as you could do, because you're just trying to sell like for the sake of it. And that really comes across to people. So if you went into a store and they're just trying to sell you a product and they don't know anything about, you know, your skin or your hair or, you know, what you need, they're not going to be able to retail something effectively to you, and you're going to know straight away that they have no idea what's going to work for you and what's not. So I think remembering and saying to yourself that you're the expert, you know what's going to work for your clients, And in skin treatments, it's quite easy because clients are asking all the time about different products and what's going to work for their skin, what they should be using. And I always talk to clients about a particular product that I think is going to be good for them. And then before they pay, I just show them the product so they can, and if we've got testers available, I let them actually feel the product like on the back of their hand and stuff like that. And I explain why it's going to be beneficial for them, what ingredients make it different to anything out there. And just, you know, giving that kind of knowledge that you already have up here, you just need to convey it. And I think that has been the main difference for me, is just coming from that place of really wanting the best results for my clients. And again, like, it doesn't matter if you own a hair salon or you do nails or you do skin, there's always a product that's going to help maintain those results. And you know, for like cuticle, for example, for nails or for lashes, you have, especially LVL, you have serums and things that are just going to make their lashes so much better and longer and thicker. So it's not just all about skincare. There's always a product that you can retail in your salons for every single different treatment. And I think just having, and like maybe doing a mindset session or finding someone like me who specialises in going through mindset and retailing products can be really beneficial to help your team, and not only you, just as salon owners, to really drive up your retail sales. And if you as a salon owner are scared about retailing products and you've got those mindset blocks, then chances are you're passing that down to your team as well. So they're never going to hit their targets if, you know, if you've also got those fears behind you. So definitely doing a lot of mindset work around money and retail, I found the most beneficial in my business.
Definitely the point of salon owners as well. If they're not retailing, then their team won't. Like, I was in salon yesterday, very rare for me because I don't work in treatment anymore, but I was covering someone that was poorly, and I sold product with every single client, and it's because they generally needed it, and my team might not necessarily have recommended it beforehand.
Yeah,
I generally was passionate about it and they needed that.
Absolutely.
It's just such an easy sale, and then the team look at you and they're like, oh, okay, I can do that. But then also, we don't really do skin in salon. Ours is more like instant treatments, lashes, nails, lashes, nails, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In this latest pregnancy, I've had really bad pigmentation that's come up on my face.
Okay.
And I was really, really down about it. And I went to Harrods Beauty because it's local to me, and they have a skincare range that I absolutely love there. And when I go there, if there's a certain woman on, I feel her passion. She knows the product inside out. I know what she's selling to me, like, is generally what I need. And I'll end up actually spending hundreds because I believe everything she said, and I trust her so much. Absolutely. And then I went there a couple of weeks ago for the pigmentation issue, because before, when I seen her, that wasn't the issue. And there was someone else on the counter, and Kelly, oh my God, I didn't trust a word that come out of her.
Yeah.
I already knew about certain products, and she was telling me about these products, and I was thinking, that's no way going to help what my problem is right now. She just wanted a sale, and I brought nothing from that counter. Went over to a different counter. There was someone that was okay, but I was so desperate to take a product home that day. I trusted this one product. I thought, I'm just investing in that and nothing else, because the girls just weren't selling it to me at all. Like, they didn't have the knowledge, they didn't have the passion, and you could tell it was just a sale. And I think that's the difference. When it is a sale, you don't want to be sold to, but when it's actually passion and knowledge, you buy into it straight away.
Yeah, I think it comes down to like that know, like, and trust factor again. Like, I would go on stories like daily on Instagram and talk about different products. So people already like heard about the product, they've already seen it, and because they listen to my stories and I explain the benefits of them, and then when they came into the salon, if I'm doing a skin consultation, or if they're talking to me in their facial about what products they're using and could I suggest anything, or I suggest to them what they should be using, most of the time they're already aware of the products, even though they're cosmeceuticals. So you don't come across them on, you know, high street. They're not in any of the, you know, big high street retailers because they're professional only brands. But because they follow me on Instagram, they follow my stories, they already know about the product. They already trust what I'm saying because I'm saying the same thing to them again. And I genuinely use all the products that we retail. So I can talk about them for days because I love how they feel on my skin. I always get complimented on my skin. So I'm a natural advocate for them. And it's one thing that I did in my salon was all of my team members, I gave them products to try out and also to use in their daily skincare routines. And because they love the products, they're then using it on their skin. And then they know what it's like, the texture, the feel of them, the smells of them, and they can naturally retail them as well because they're already using them. So they become like mini advocates for the skincare brands. And that makes a huge difference because I always come from a place where, you know, if I wasn't using it, why would anyone else use it? So I made sure that I was stocking brands that I genuinely loved and was bought into and would use every single day. And yeah, and sometimes it's just getting that confidence of talking to them, you know, talking about products to your clients. A lot of people just get really scared of it. Whereas if you just talk about what would be great for them, you don't have to say, would you like to buy one right now? You can literally just say a few sentences about why it's going to be good for their skin. I feel like there's so much pressure when it comes to selling. And when we take that pressure away, you make a natural, easy sell because you're just talking to them at the end of the day.
And we're the same. We won't ever have a product in salon that we don't love ourselves.
Yeah.
I've tried and tested for X amount of months before I've even brought it into the salon. And a lot of the time, that seals the deal straight away anyway, because my clients know that. Like, they know I won't bring anything else in that I don't love or that doesn't work. So when you do bring it in, they're like, oh, okay, if Katie says this works, then it must work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some of my one-to-one clients say to me, you know, what brands should I stock? Am I stocking the right brands? And I always say to them, what brands have you tested? What brands do you love and would use every day? And those are the exact brands that you should be stocking because you can sell them and you know that they work.
Yeah, definitely. You offer free training that people are going to be able to find on the show notes, actually. So, well, as you're listening to this, you can scroll down and there's the link. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can scroll down and there's the link. I've personally done this free training, absolutely loved it. Thanks, Kelly. And I'm loving all the emails that are coming through after that as well. They're really, really helpful. Do you want to say a little bit more about the training so people will sign up?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do some free masterclasses every couple of months. So by the time you listen to this, they may have changed, but all of my free training is based around how to maximize your income. So it talks to you about how to sell effectively, how to retail products effectively, how to price for profit, so making sure that your treatment prices are correct so that you're making a profit. There's training on there on how to become fully booked, and there's also within that training a bit about your mindset and how to start thinking differently to maximize your success in business. So whether it's a free masterclass or, you know, a paid training, I always deliver value to the listeners, to clients. And again, I always come from that place of service. So any training that you go on to on my page is going to be of value to you. Even if you've been in business for years, I feel like we've all got different perspectives, different ways of doing things as business owners. And just go into any training that you do, whether it's mine or someone else's, with an open mind, because I guarantee you there's always going to be a takeaway from it. There's always going to be something of value, and perhaps something that you haven't thought about or maybe think about differently from watching that training.
Definitely. So scroll down and just click on that link and sign up for that free training. And then is there any other way that people can just have a little nosy about you? Would you say Instagram?
Yeah, so we've got Instagram and we've also got my website. So if you go onto my Instagram at Kelly Rose Beauty Mentor, we've got a link tree in my bio with all the different trainings and my website and how to work with me and stuff. And you can always drop me a message in the DMs. I'm always happy to chat and have a conversation.
Amazing. Thank you, Kelly, for giving up your time today. It's been amazing, and I'm sure our listeners have gone away with lots of takeaways and want to kickstart retail in their business if they're not already, or if they want to plug it more than they are currently. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Katie. It's been so nice to speak to you.